What's going on, guys? Spartan Willie here. I'm on to episode 14 of season 2 on our Motorsport Manager rebuilding Ferrari F1 2020 mod series. Okay, welcome back. Today we of course have Spa, and just a fun little fact here before we get started. Look at that, our car is second on grid over Red Bull, which is very surprising because Red Bull are the ones taking it to us. That just shows how good Max Verstappen is, and as you can see here, he's 20 in everything but feedback. So basically, he is the best you can be, which is insane. Like, I don't know, we're pretty close, but we're not quite there in some areas. But that is just insane. Now that I've looked at that, Leclerc is not quite there either, but he'll get there, I think. I mean, he's got 5-star potential. If you have a look at Lewis, what's he? See, he's even better than Lewis now, Max Verstappen, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, anyway, so we've got 13 days to the gearbox, but we knew that wasn't going to be ready for Spa. We're more looking towards that for like Singapore and beyond. But yeah, so let's just go forward here. Car repair. I'm not really sure what we're improving at the moment. Suspension performance. That sounds like a plan. Right, what are we doing here? Top speed, we've already maxed out. And front wing, we're already in front of the grid as well. So that is fine. But just having a look here, is there anything else I really want to upgrade? Because it's sort of the top in everything, bar a few things where we're third. So this car is sick. Like, this is a great car. I did not expect that car to be this good this season. Like, it is insane. Like, if we improve the suspension now, what other parts can we improve? We'll improve the gearbox a little bit. And let's work on the front wing. Try and get us to that 179. Which should hopefully give us a massive advantage here because we need the front wing. But the gearbox is also kind of useful. So hopefully we can get that up there as well. So report on upcoming races. So we're going to be good. No, we want the preview. That's where they tell you what teams are going to be good. But we might have to pause on the advancing for a little bit here as we have to simulate an F2 race in Silverstone. We're actually almost at the end of the season now. 14 out of 22. Like, this is it's crunch time, and we're on top of the championship, aren't we? Yeah. Only by 7 points by Red Bull, who are overperforming in that car because obviously they're third now. Oh, and we've just gone best on grid. We have the best car on grid right now. Because we've upgraded these two things a little bit, we're now the best car on grid. So our gearbox, wow. That is insane to think about. Just continuing on here towards the race, we got, what is this? Low profile tires. Look for them without the fastest tires around. On this, they are the second cheapest tires available. I don't really care, but I'm gonna say no because I kind of just like the tires now. You know what I mean? There's no need to change them. We all got money in Formula One, don't we? Haha. Williams there looked at me a bit funny, but moving on here, voting over. Spa, it's time to go. So with our best car on grid, yeah, I can't believe that. First time this series have the best car on grid. We're gonna travel to Spa and hopefully have a good race. I'll see you for Q3. Okay, so welcome back. Q2, Q1 practice of history. We're on to Q3 now. And as you can see here, there is a tenth of a second splitting first and third. It keeps on moving down. Between Hamilton, Verstappen, and Ricciardo, there's a tenth between us. It's intense, or them. You know, Ricciardo's not technically me, but he's on the team. Perez back from his injury, unfortunately didn't make it. Obviously, he had a tennis injury last time out. Leclerc's a bit closer to the drop zone than we would have liked. It's sort of given me a new goal with the development, and that is to close the gap in the car between Leclerc and Ricciardo. Because I mean, I think there's still a gap there. If not, maybe we look at replacing Leclerc. Nah, I'm joking. He's on a crazy contract anyway. But we're going to just have 2 runs here because Spa's a massive lap. Absolutely massive. I mean, it's only 1:30 in the game, but it feels longer than that. Like it uses more time. I don't know. Maybe it's like something in my head. Thinking that Spa's a huge lap, but in practice we couldn't get all the running we wanted to get done because it's such a big lap. But anyway, 1:37 it actually is now if you're Daniel Ricciardo apparently. And it looks like Hamilton's going to go purple. Oh no. He's just improving on everything that Ricciardo's doing, and Ricciardo is a quarter of a second of Hamilton, so not a great start to Q3. Hopefully we can shut that gap a little bit, but we're going to wait to, I mean, track grip's at its highest now, so we'll send him out again on another fresh set of tires. This is your last run, Ricciardo, and make it a good one. Next time you'll be on the track will be race time. We want to at least be third, if not second or first. We don't want to drop down to fourth. Alonso is right behind Ricardo. That Renault must be doing bits on the development side of things. I was going to go on board Ricardo here because he's the one in a pole fight and he's not going to improve, so I'm not really happy with that at all in Ricardo. But what do you do? Leclerc doesn't improve either. So not a great qualifying for my lads, unfortunately. Not a great qualifying. So hopefully make up some ground in the race. But hopefully Bottas doesn't overtake us, or Albon. We'll be watching with eager for them not to, but they won't, thank God. Alonso has put his Renault on the second row with us, which is so frustrating because that means we have to deal with Alonso's insane race pace. It's really annoying. But anyway, I want to see his stats now. I'm going to try and remember after the race, look at Fernando Alonso's stats. But continuing on here, race day. We need a good race. I thought the car was with us. We had the setup. It's all perfect in the setup. We just need the drivers to just have a decent race and get us over the line. Let's see, all purple. It took me ages. I was still meddling with the setup in qualifying. Q2 even for Leclerc. We sorted out Q1 for Ricardo, but anyway. That's all behind us now. It's all about race day. Everything in the weekend's led up to this. We need to have a good race today, boys. Good start from Ricardo there. Smashes himself in a second. We're following Hamilton down, but look at that pace that Mercedes got. It's insane. And Leclerc's made a massive mistake into the back of the grid. We won't look at that right now. We're on board with Ricardo here. Tyres aren't really heating up that fast, which is good. The Renault is in third, so if Verstappen's dropped down the grid, dropped behind his teammate as well. Verstappen's had a shocking start to this race. Hopefully Bottas can nip him as well and really send him back, because... Oh, what's that happened there? It just came a late notification that we've overtaken someone in second, but here we go. Following Hamilton down, tyres have reached temps. Hopefully they just sort of stay there, neutral, but I might have to meddle with them. If you don't know what I'm talking about all the time, it's like down here. These tyres. I'm sure you know, or else you would have asked in the comments by now, surely. But yeah, that's basically where I have my eyes 80% of the time. But now I'm watching the track, and we are... That gap to Hamilton's not really promising, but it's fine. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, Leclerc, you're down in 15th, mate. I would be giving it too much of the biggins, but anyway. Hopefully he can have a good recovery drive. Leclerc is pretty good at getting back up from when he sort of has a bad start. But it's quite a big job today down in 12th with the Alfa Romeos. If you didn't run wide at the start, it would have been alright, but obviously he did. But yeah, Leclerc hasn't had the pace all weekend, to be fair to him. I don't know why, because he's got a decent engine in the car, I think. So it's a bit strange, but anyway, we'll look past it. We're going to try and keep Ricardo's tyres in temperature, obviously. And Charles, and he overtakes Stroll, so Leclerc's doing a lot of overtaking back there, so good on him. He's not wasting any time. And I didn't even check if there's going to be weather today, like wet weather, but no, it's not, so. And I'm pretty sure the softs go 40, yeah, they pretty much go the entire race. So anyone on the softs could do a no stop if they wanted to, but I'm sure they're not gonna. No one really no stops. And if they do, it's usually on the medium tyre, and the medium tyre's got no pace, we know that. And we should probably tell the boys to calm down the engines a little bit now. We've got to make it into this race, I suppose. Tyres overheating, sorry mate. 2.6 seconds of Hamilton. We really need this. I don't know why we're not closing this gap. Right now, we are still top. We're still top. Mercedes, obviously. Leclerc, we need him to be a bit further up the order. That would be nice. Very nice for our championship standings, but it doesn't matter. As we're recovering some fuel, we should be fine on fuel. We've already recovered most of the delta that we lost. We're almost -1, so -1 laps, so it'd be -0.3 is fine right now. Keeping these tyres in temps, it's a really boring race with Ricciardo. I want to jump on board Verstappen, but Leclerc. Let's jump on board Leclerc. So you're making some decent ground. I mean, not really. We're losing, not looking good against that McLaren behind us, but the McLaren has actually got a bit of pace, it seems like. I mean, Vettel's ahead of Sainz, so we're sort of in a sandwich, but with Perez as well. It's a racing point sandwich with a feeling of a Ferrari and a McLaren. So a bit of a fun looking sandwich there. 2nd and 10th. I'm on Leclerc. Got a bit more work to do, mate. You're not quite there yet. Not quite where we want you to be. Alright, we're going to jump on board Ricardo here. He's just going to jump in. We're going to get him straight into the pits. No point messing about. A lot of pressure on the engine, so we're actually going to risk upgrading, repairing that part, because the engine just gets absolutely belted around here. Plus, if we want to use high fuel mix, it really is not good for the engine either. But time to attack, overtake. We've got to try and make up some ground on Hamilton in this pit stop. We're 6 seconds behind him now. It's pretty much over. Basically, in this game, when you're 6 seconds behind, you're not looking good. But we come out into P4, beautifully done. Hopefully that repaired engine will do wonders for Danny Rick. He's already talking about it. See if we can close that gap to Hamilton. Still 19 seconds. It's not really going down. Leclerc's got worn tyres. Pit next lap. Go on to the softs. Repair that engine. Recharge the battery by 1. We never go more than 1 or else we oversurge it. And if you lose your battery, you're buggered really. But that gap to Hamilton is not going down, which is not great really. That's fine. We're going to jump on board Leclerc for his pit stop. Good job. It's all good. Did they repair the engine? Yeah, just the bar didn't fill up. It still says repairing. Good pit, lads. Good pit. 3.5. 3.3 isn't great actually, but we'll pretend like it was a good pit. Surely we're making up grounds on these boys now. Come on, look at their tyres. The top 3 tyres are dead. We're right behind Verstappen and Alonso, so then race for the competitive top 3 is done. They'll be like 20 seconds behind, hopefully. As Leclerc's tyres meet temperature, so we can tell him to turn it down a little bit. And Ricciardo can jump on higher fuel mix. We've just repaired that engine, so we can whip that engine hard now, which is good. A bit kinky, but good. But 19 laps to go. Come on, lads. You can do this. We're still within the fight with Hamilton, I believe. Look at those tyres. How is he making those tyres work? They must be like absolutely in the ground. But when you think about it, oh, he's pitted now. We missed out on that. But when you think about it, they were 3rd in the cars. Now they're top, and they've already been caught for using illegal parts once. I'm sort of assuming, well, an accusation is that they're using illegal parts again. I mean, how else do you make a jump from 3rd on the car to the 1st? And obviously 2nd now because we pulled our socks up and got a couple of parts in. But I'm starting to think that they're cheating again. Because this Mercedes car was nowhere 4 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. 5 Grand Prix ago. And now all of a sudden it's back after just cheating. So maybe they've just put more illegal parts in the car. So I would expect a Ricciardo win here. Not expect, but wouldn't be surprised if we get a Ricciardo win here. Because the Mercedes car has just got pace out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know, that's just my sort of 2 cents. We'll see if I'm right at the end of the race. If I'm not, then fair play to Mercedes. They've done well, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised as we're equal on points of Red Bull. We need Leclerc in that 2nd car to pull his socks up. Come on, mate. Couple more overtakes. Come on, Vettel. Vettel's down the road. You can get Vettel, I know you can. But we wouldn't mind if Hamilton had a bit of a gearbox failure or something, you know, something that takes him out the race. So yeah, I don't know, I've lost a bit of respect for Mercedes in this game. Oh, and he's fighting with Ocon after that little cheating incident. And we're in a bit of a big fight here. We're going to tell Leclerc to go overtake, try and get some ground. And it looks like we're under more of pressure from McLaren than putting pressure on the Renault. So, not great, but we'll deal with it. Push, overtake for Ricciardo. Try and stay within that pit window of Hamilton just in case he just for some reason pits. You know how it is. Yeah, you've been stuck behind the Renault, have you? Well, I'm giving you all the power I physically can, apart from maybe one setting on the driving style, but you got to watch the tyres, mate, you know what I mean? He got past. Yeah. Alright, now cool it on the fuel. We don't have a lot of that left. We're going to stay on board Leclerc here as he's gaining on Vettel. I'm just sort of keeping an eye on this gap. Verstappen is actually closing the gap on Ricciardo quite well, but with 4 laps to go, I'm not too worried at the moment. I'm sort of watching it very cautiously there as we make up quite a bit of ground to Hamilton. I think Hamilton's made a mistake. Marcus Armstrong's out of the race. I mean, they've been 19th and 20th the entire championship, it feels like. So we're not really paying too much of attention to them. But we're going to tell them to go calm down the engine a little bit. That front wing of Ricciardo isn't looking great. No mistakes, lads. Just get this car over the line. We're going to see Ricciardo come home in another podium spot. I mean, it's only second today. I think it was second last week too, but there's always that one car in front of us. We just don't have the pace yet. I don't know. We're the best car on grid. We got Daniel Ricciardo driving it. I don't know why we're not winning races, but we were nowhere near Hamilton today. It was quite a boring race, but second and eighth, Leclerc had a decent recovery drive. It's a bit frustrating that he can't get a race start right. 4 points ahead of Red Bull. They've shut the gap a little bit, but that's fine. They've obviously shut it by 3 points. You can see it there. So Mercedes have shut it by a bit more than 3 points. So it's all to play for still. I thought we were going to have a really good weekend at Spa because we had the engine in the front wing, but we just didn't quite have it. Let's see. Did Mercedes cheat? No, they didn't. Okay. Oh no. They did. Bottas is cheating. What is wrong with Mercedes? They're just cheating. Bottas was caught cheating, but not Hamilton. So I'm assuming Hamilton has an illegal part in that car. You know, it's a bit of an accusation, but it'll be exposed in the next couple of races if he keeps using it. So Hamilton wins, but put an asterisk next to it, I reckon. Bit dodgy there from Lewis. I mean, obviously Bottas cheating. We can't prove that Hamilton was, but chances are they are, because they both got caught last time. But anyway, enough about that. Let's check Fernando Alonso's stats as a driver, because I kind of really want to know. Because he's absolutely bossing Ocon in the sort of teammate rivalry. So we'll have a quick look. Yeah, obviously we're losing lots of money, but we'll get it back in prize money. He should be right. Where's Fernando Alonso? There he is. His stats aren't even like groundbreaking. Not about as good as Leclerc's. I don't know what he's doing to that car. That Renault was 6th car on grid, but he's qualifying it in bloody, what was it, P4? And our gearbox is finally done. I got an interview here. I'll say that. Just leave the door ajar for Lewis Hamilton to come in. No, I'm joking. We don't want Lewis Hamilton. I'm happy with our drivers right now. So, closing the gap between Leclerc and Ricciardo is now the new goal. So the brakes aren't that good. There's actually quite a big gap in the engine, so maybe we'll look at getting a new engine. We don't have the best engine on grid anymore, bit disappointing. Front wing's fine, it really is. You can have no complaints with the gearbox now, as he's got the 48. The rear wing, we don't have the best wing on grid. I don't know if we ever did, but we don't now. Suspension, massive gap in suspension. We should know that. I almost want to design a sick engine for next year like we did last year, but maybe not. How long was that? 35 days. I just hate building engines. I'm sorry. I'm not building another engine. It takes too long. We've got so many other things we can build. Let's build another suspension for Leclerc, because that's the biggest gap out of all of them, I think. That bloody suspension. So if we add it, don't add 5 build days. That's not really ideal, is it? There we go. Build that. How long will this take? 13 days. So Leclerc can have a equal suspension to Ricciardo. That would be good. And we're gonna. That was not a good advance because that's for next episode. Sorry guys, but I wanted to get this gearbox repaired just before I forgot. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that episode. It was a bit of a boring race, but sometimes it was boring races. Sometimes it's a last minute safety car makes it exciting. But 5 wins with Ferrari, 5 wins for Red Bull, and 4 for Mercedes. So the championship is still all to play for. They lost a lot of points actually, if you look at that, because Bottas' disqualification obviously. So they're 26 points behind us. Red Bull are only 4. So hopefully we can start to get more points over Red Bull. We always got the best car on grid, but the gap between the top 3 cars is minimal. Very, very minimal. You see it in the points here. We're all sort of switching better in some areas. We're better in most areas, but anyway. They have the drivers as well. Verstappen is the best driver on grid, hands down, in the stat-wise in the game. So yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you're not already. I'm sure you already are, and I'll see you in the next one.